What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the garage. Gerald here with you, of course. Jonathan Fujii. Fujii, what's up, man?
Hello. Thank you for having me back to remove Amelia Perez. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get to it. But yeah, thanks for having me back.
The Amelia Perez Project is what we probably should have called this. But
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, it got nominated for 13 fucking awards. So I mean, you know,
It's a lot. It's a lot.
if you don't like the movie and you have that many categories to choose from, I mean, it's only going to go one kind of way, you know.
Yep.
So this is chapter 2, round 2 of our Oscars swaps for this season, this award season. We were just talking about Amelia Perez. I want to ask you a quick question before we get into the game. But let me tell everybody that's watching about the game. By the way, I will tag the first round of this in the description on this video if you didn't get a chance to check that out. Me and Jonathan a couple weeks ago, we went in and we swapped nominees out in all 6 of the major top-of-the-line categories, picture, director, and all the performances. That was what we did in the first round. And the way the game works is Jonathan gets to remove a nominee from whatever category we're discussing. I get to remove a nominee, and then we each get a replacement, and we get to put in whoever we want. It just has to be somebody that was not nominated in that category, movie or person, whatever it is. And the other thing that I want to make sure everybody's aware of is that me and Jonathan both have a lifeline that we can use tonight. We only have one. So if Jonathan tries to remove Timothée Chalamet from Best Actor, for example, or a complete unknown, I can use my lifeline and say, Timmy, I thought maybe he would see that and reach out to me, Jonathan, but he didn't. So, you know,
Damn.
I don't know. What was it even for, man? But we can use a lifeline to save one of our favorites that the other person might be trying to remove. That's the Oscar swap game. Fujii, what me and you recorded this, the first round of this. And am I crazy, or like you and I recorded and then like the next morning was like the Amelia Perez fucking avalanche, right? Or had it
I
started
think
already?
it was like starting a little bit when we recorded, and then the next day that's when like the big tweets like blew up.
Yeah, the Hitler stuff and all that.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but yeah, that's the tweet.
I mean, basically, yeah, it got increasingly worse as it went on.
Yes,
I think when you and I recorded, I think that day she had done that interview where she like accused Torres' team of like, right.
That's the day that popped up.
And then it spiraled.
Yeah, it did.
I think maybe Carla saw us removing all of the nominations. She's like,
Maybe.
just went off. You know, I don't know how old those tweets
so.
were. I don't know. Okay, so you ready to do the Oscar swap, man? Let's see what we come up with here. So
I'm
the
ready.
categories we're going to do tonight, guys, I'll throw it up on the screen here for you too, because obviously as we go through these rounds, and we're going to hopefully do at least one more of these, or I guess really it would be one more of these, because then we would have covered all the nominations, but we're going to do one more before the Oscars to round out all the categories, with the exception of probably the short films. But tonight, we're going to be swapping nominees in cinematography, animated movie, original score, original screenplay, production design, costumes, makeup, and sound. 7 categories that me and Jonathan will be altering the nominees a little bit. And there's a couple categories as I was looking at these that are actually kind of tough to come up with alternates.
Oh, yeah.
Did you think that too?
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, oh, like I got one for sure in all of them, but a couple of them I was like, what is my alternate here? So maybe that'll influence what you pick first. We're going to alternate picks, and Jonathan's going to go first. Fujii, what category you want to go to, and then tell me what you're going to take out of there, man.
All right, so yeah, like I said, a lot of these categories actually I don't have a lot of problems with for the most part. Where I was thinking about it, I was like, ooh, if you went first and then I got stuck with the second, I was like, ooh, that's kind of tough. Mm-hmm. So with that, let's just go to original screenplay.
Okay, all right.
And
so what do you want to remove? Let me tell people what the...
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so the nominees for original screenplay as of right now, before me and Fujii get involved, are Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. So now, Fujii, what would you like to remove?
I don't even hate this movie, but September 5, gotta go. Goodbye.
Bye. It was also my first pick.
Yeah, I won't really miss you. That doesn't mean you're bad, but you kind of stick out here. So I will remove that. And like the hoodie says, you got to put in challengers.
You got to.
Got to put in challengers. It's an easy alternate for me.
I was going to ask you. I know one category for sure, depending on who gets that when we pick. But I was wondering how many appearances challengers might make tonight.
I'm trying to limit myself, you know. I don't want to just go full, like 2 movies each, but this one, you got to do challengers.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I know that you did. You and I both had Dune Part 2. That was your best. That was your number one, right?
Yeah.
Of the year or just of the nominees? Or is challengers your number one of the
both.
Year? Okay.
Dune is my favorite of the year, yeah.
Yeah, it's up there for me too. Okay. All right, so original screenplay. I'm not going to use a lifeline for that. I'm down with that. That was my first pick too. Was to take out September 5. I mean, it's good, you know.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Yeah,
it's fine.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
With that being said, as we were just saying a minute ago, it gets a little tougher after the first one is removed from a lot of these categories because the rest of these are great.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I mean, like, you know, Anora is likely the front runner in the category. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. I love Sean Baker's writing in that. I mean, I'm never going to remove Coralie Farjah. You wouldn't be able to get me to do that as a horror head. I think The Brutalist is amazing. Got the husband and wife team there. I also think, and this might be a hot take, I don't know, but I think the best part of A Real Pain is the writing. I'm not huge on Kieran Culkin's performance and a lot of other things that are getting kind of lifted up as awards. I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm saying the best thing is the screenplay.
Yep.
So, kind of like what we did in round 1, Fujii, is I'm just going to have to remove what would basically be my 4th best.
Yeah.
So that would be A Real Pain.
Oh, wow, we match. We would match
okay.
that. Yep.
I was waiting to see if you were going to chime in with a lifeline because I know people freaking love that thing. So you did challengers, that's good. That's good. I've got 2 here because you didn't pick either of mine. I wonder which one I want to go with. I think I will go with the screenplay for Saturday Night.
Okay. I like Saturday Night. Yeah.
Jason Reitman, Gil Keenan had a connection to SNL too, so you can kind of feel the kind of personal connection in the screenplay, and it's very frantic, you know. And it's got to be hard to write with such high energy, but also you're recreating something that's pretty infamous in, you know, in pop culture and in the industry. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I thought Saturday Night was actually going to get a little more love this season than it ended up getting.
Same,
you know, I thought it would get at least a few texts or something like that, but yeah, I dig it, man. So Saturday Night would be my pick, and that would mean the nominees for Best Original Screenplay would be Anora, The Brutalist, The Substance, Challengers, and Saturday Night. That's what we would be looking. That's what we'd be looking at on Oscars night. All right, so I get to go next. You knocked original screen. Now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you why. And I was afraid you were gonna do this. I'm going straight to animated movie.
Damn it!
Do you know why? Why?
Because they're all good.
They're all great, but it's also a very shallow pool.
I know.
After that 5, right?
Yeah.
There's literally only one other animated movie that I would be happy to see among the nominees.
All right, I got to start looking.
But in terms of taking one out, it's also hard because I love all these films.
Yep.
But I think I'm going to take out the one that I thought it was good. I thought all these were great. Let me tell everyone what the nominees are real quick. So the nominees for animated film as it stands right now are Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. I'm going to take out the Wallace and Gromit.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I love it. I like all these. I don't know. I mean, I've never been like a super fan of Wallace and Gromit. I mean, I do respect it and appreciate it. And
sure,
I've been entertained by all the movies I've seen. Again, it's just my 5th favorite in the category, but they're all great. Although, what I'm going to put in place of it, unless you're going to use a lifeline, I should have given you a chance. Huh? Okay.
No.
What I'm going to put in place of it is a movie that I do enjoy better, that I think would have actually been a really inspired animation nomination had it happened this year, and that's going to be Transformers 1.
Yeah, that's the pick. That's
the one.
That's the one.
And I'm not even joking with you, man. Those 6, if counting Transformers and the nominees, I've got one written down here. I don't want to say it in case you pick it, but I mean, there's really kind of these are all like really, really good movies but it's just such a short list this year of like animation.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's strange. I always feel like there's an abundance, but I mean, I don't want to say any names because I don't want to talk shit about a movie that you might pick. All right.
All good.
All right. So Wallace and Gromit is out, and I put in Transformers 1. So what are you going to remove from the animated nominees?
Gosh. Okay. So there's Flow there. There's Memoir of a Snail. There's Inside Out 2, and there's The Wild Robot.
Mm-hmm.
I like all of those movies.
They're all really good. Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the one that just when I saw it, I was not in the right state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really tough watch for me that day. So I gotta remove Memoir of a Snail. Even though I really like that movie. Everyone hear me? Wow. I really like that movie. But
that's kind of crazy. I'm not going to use my lifeline for it, but I love that thing, man. If you try to remove Flow, that may have been lifeline worthy, but
it was between that or Flow, actually. But I went with Memoir of a Snail.
I thought you were going to go Disney, man. I thought you were going to get the big mammoth Disney Inside Out of there. But okay.
Nah, I rewatched Inside Out 2, like back when it happened.
Good.
Yeah, the rewatch, I was like, yo, this is actually much better than I thought. But I realized that's a lot of people think that movie's mid. That's okay. So the alternate was clearly Transformers 1.
Okay.
Clearly. Okay.
That's why I had to get this category out of the way, because I wouldn't know what to do. I don't know what you're going to do.
So I have two options here.
Okay.
I could do a relatively mainstream one, or I could do a cool one. But don't know if that really counts. I'll do the ones that people might not know what I'm talking about, but it's called Look Back.
I don't know the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it, but I never saw it.
It's the anime one. It's like an hour long.
Oh wow, so I love it already.
It's not even an hour and a half. It's like an hour, which is great. And it's an interesting watch. It definitely goes to some dark places, but it is a good movie about like artistry. Okay. So I will go with Look Back.
I haven't seen that one, but I've heard it mentioned and I've seen it on some lists and stuff, and it definitely looks really good. So now I definitely want to check it out because according to us, it's nominated for an Oscar. So that's great.
Yeah, congratulations.
The animated feature film nominees after me and Fujii did our thing would be Flow, Inside Out 2, The Wild Robot, Transformers 1, and Look Back. There you go. That's a pretty good 5. I mean, I haven't seen Look Back, but I'll take your word for it. That's a pretty good 5. Yeah. All right, so original screenplay down, animated movie down. You're up next. What category do you want to tackle?
Gosh, so many options here. So many tough options. Let's go to sound.
Best sound. So currently, the nominees in that category are A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, wonder what you're going to do, Wicked, and The Wild Robots. All right, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be presumptuous. So those are your 5 nominees from the Academy. What do you want to do, man? What do you want to eliminate?
Well, everyone knows what I'm going to do. Get that movie out of here. Emilia Perez, even if I look at it objectively, the sound, gotta be honest, nothing special about it to me. Gotta be totally honest, nothing special about it.
You know, I'm not trying to be, and now I know it, neither you or I like Emilia Perez at all.
Yep.
And that's pretty common knowledge to anybody that probably watches our channels or whatever. So that's obvious. But I will say that even from like an objective standpoint, some of these categories that I get nominated in are truly baffling. Like, even if you like the movie a lot, I don't know where the best sound would come from. And there's a couple other categories. Yeah. It's like, what? Like,
it's literally
nothing
just
says... Yeah.
It's a musical. Like, oh, it's a musical.
Nothing says great sound design to me when I watch that, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Or great anything for that matter, but that's beside the point. Okay, so Emilia Perez is out. No lifelines needed in that regard. What do you want to put in its place, man?
Got to put in The Substance.
Good one.
Got to put in The Substance.
I was surprised that one missed, honestly. That was probably number 6, right? Wouldn't you say? Probably. I mean,
probably. I mean, the sound does so much in that movie. Does so much.
It really does. You know, I had it in instead of the Wild Robot in my predictions, if I remember correctly. I was kind of surprised it missed.
Yeah.
And I also I had that one as my immediate pick too. So I'm glad you picked it, because now I get to shout out a movie that was actually there's two, but of course I can only do one. But there was a movie that was extremely undervalued, in my opinion, from a technical standpoint this award season. However, I need to figure out what to remove here. So for Best Sound, you took out Emilia Perez. Beat me to it on that. I will... Man. It's between... As far as removing one, it's between The Wild Robot and Wicked for me. I do really like the unique nomination for The Wild Robot. I mean, you hardly ever see animation in a category like this.
Yeah, I agree.
So I do really like that shout out, Randy, Tom, and team. So I'll take out Wicked because we talked about this a little bit last time too. I know I like Wicked a lot more than you do, but I don't dislike Wicked. I think it does have some great qualities. I don't necessarily know that sound as a musical is one of the things that I go to right away.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take out Wicked, and I'm going to replace it with that movie I was referring to, which is Alex Garland's Civil War. I mean, dude.
Oh, yeah. Love that. That's a good pick.
Did you see that in IMAX by chance? Or even in the theater, for that matter?
Yeah, I saw it in IMAX. That shit was scary.
I mean, it really was. Well, that's definitely scary. But I just remember being kind of disappointed as the season was going on, because that came out in, May or something? It was pretty early. But I remember being disappointed as the season was getting going at the end of the year, because when I saw that movie, now of course it was an IMAX, but when I saw it, I immediately just thought to myself, that's the best sound nominee. Like, this is fucking amazing sound design.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just uncanny. And then, of course, it underperformed. It missed different guilds. I mean, it's crazy. So I wish it had gotten a little more love, particularly in areas like sound. So I'll put Civil War in there in place of Wicked. We got both musicals out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, so the nominees for Best Sound, after we made our adjustments, are A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, The Wild Robot, Civil War, and The Substance. So there you go. Good group. I think that's a better 5, let's be honest.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I'm not a jumper in movies. Like, when something scary happens, I don't jump. But in Civil War, the Jesse Plemons scene, legitimately made me jump. Ooh. I legitimately jumped in the theater. So that's a good pick.
This might sound like hyperbole or whatever. And I know we already did our supporting actor, but he could have been nominated for that 2-minute scene.
Agreed. Totally agree.
I mean, Isabella Rossellini's out here doing it. I mean, let's get Plemons on board. All right. Let's see what I'm going to go to next. So let me try to remember what categories were tough. Man. So if I pick this category, I would do it because I would take your layup from you. But I would, not to be mean though, because you're my boy. But I would take right. But I would take the layup from you because I'm kind of interested to see what else you're going to pick.
Okay.
So let's go to original score. All right.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, I know what you're doing.
Let me find where the hell there is. Okay, so the current nominees for original score are The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Dude, why does this nomination list exist without challengers being among it? I know why, because it's the Academy.
Yeah.
But Emilia Perez and even Wicked and Dune Part 2 wasn't eligible for some weird fucking loop thing, or, I don't know. The whole thing is baffling to me. But anyway, I'm going to take out Emilia Perez. I feel like that's the gimme.
Yep.
And the layup is to put challengers from Reznor Ross in there. I mean,
that's right.
Correct. That might be the best score of the year, period. I'm trying to think. I think that's my favorite score of the year.
Same here.
I could put Babylon in here, but I think that came out the year before. I'm still waiting for a Babylon nomination.
Yeah, same.
All right, so challengers in for Emilia Perez. So what do you want to take out an original score over there? This is what I wanted to do, by the way. I wanted to see where you go. Because, right, you would have easily done challengers.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I'm curious what your kind of next in line is. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so The Brutalist, you're safe. It's a great score.
It is. It's probably going to win, too.
Conclave, even though he's the guy that has Babylon's Oscar in his house, you're safe. All right?
Wow.
I don't like you for that, but you're safe with this one.
I thought there might be a plot twist involved there. Okay, all right. You're letting him go. Okay.
Okay. You got to get Wicked out of here.
Guys, if you're watching, I don't know about Fujii, but I'm sorry. Like, we're not purposefully removing the musicals from every category. At least I'm not. It just turns out, it's the 4th or 5th best for us. So
the Wicked getting in for score when they're like, no thank you,
really
Dune
sucks.
2, it does not make sense to me. It's been explained to me. I reject it. I simply reject it.
Yeah, it's a very, very weird argument. Like, all or nothing. I mean, if you're going to leave Dune 2 out, which first of all is a superior score,
yes,
then leave Wicked out.
Exactly. Let's just be consistent. Let's just
you either have the rule or you don't. I mean, whatever.
Right.
That really kind of pissed me off too. But we took it out. It's not there on this video.
We're taking out Wicked.
What do you want to put in there, man?
So a lot of good scores, as always. I absolutely love a good score. So I'm just trying to decide if I want to try to be cool or just speak to me. I'm not going to try to be cool because who cares about that?
Yeah,
I love the score from Saturday Night.
Yeah,
so I would do
dude.
That. So I would do that. One.
High energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's a good one. I like the score a lot too. And like I said, I wish that Saturday Night had gotten some shout outs this season, and I think this is one where it could have shown up here and there, and it didn't.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
All right, so original score, we fixed it, guys. We fixed it. You're welcome. The nominees after our fixes would be The Brutalist, Conclave, The Wild Robot stays there, which I think is kind of cool, kind of like I said with the animation representation. Challengers and Saturday Night. Those would be your original score nominees. Man, we are killing this again.
Yep.
Every time we do this, we just straight up kill it. All right, so who picked that one? I did, right? So you get to pick the next category.
Yep. Okay. It's getting a little tougher now. It's getting a little tougher.
Yeah, there's some tough ones.
Let's go to costumes.
All right, so costume design. The Academy's nominees are A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2. By the way, is that the lone nomination for them? It is, right?
Yep.
That's so weird, too.
Yeah.
Nosferatu and Wicked. All right, so there's your costume design nominees as it stands right now. Jonathan is going to take one of those bad boys out. What are you going to take?
All right, so I think this category is pretty good.
It is.
I think it's pretty good. So just you have to keep in mind, we got to remove 2 out of here. So that being said, I know you love this movie.
Oh, boy.
But is it enough to use a lifeline on it, knowing what other categories we have next?
Oh, boy. So basically, you're testing me. Okay, interesting. All right.
So for costumes, again, I like this category, but I would remove A Complete Unknown.
Oh, okay. You scared me for a second. I thought it was going to be my number one of the year, which is also in this bunch.
Oh, no. I would never do that. Never do that.
But, you know what, man? I'm okay with it. I do really like A Complete Unknown, but I do think this is a bit of a kind of offbeat nomination because, you do have to recreate the 60s and the look and all. I mean, I get they are costumes. I mean, I get it. But when you look at it against some of these other kind of like period pieces, or fantastical elements to a lot of the costumes, some people talk down about the costume design in Conclave because there's just them wearing, the cardinal. But I thought those were, you don't get to see that world.
Right.
Unless unless you're there. So.
Right.
I also think this is a really good group, and I'm okay with you taking that one out. I'm interested to see what you put in place of it, though.
I'm between 2. I would rather just give this to one that I don't think we've brought up before. Maybe, unless I'm misremembering. So I would put in Furiosa.
Me too, dude. That was mine.
Oh, let's go.
We're here, man. We're I love that pick, Furiosa. Another movie. Now, of course, it underperformed at the box office. It might have a little bit to do with it, but another movie that just I can't believe he's not at least in a couple tech categories. It's crazy.
Yeah, just blanked.
So Furiosa in for a complete unknown. That is a upgrade. And I'm a fan of a complete unknown. That's a great trade-off. You took my sub though, but that's okay. I got an alternate that I'm not as passionate about, but I also think that it deserves to be recognized for costumes. So, taking out a complete unknown, which would have also been what I removed first. My alternate removal in this category would be Gladiator 2, not because I don't think the costumes are great, but because at a minimum, they are as good as the ones we saw in the original. I mean, they're basically the same thing for the most part.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's good. They're good. I think Wicked is the winner in this category, and actually, in terms of that movie, that's probably the best part of it, aside from maybe the performances of Cynthia and Ariana.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really want to take Wicked out, even though of the 5 movies, my score for that movie would probably be on the lower end. It'd probably be like number 5 among the group.
Yeah.
But I do love the costumes in it, and I think those are A+. So I'm going to take out Gladiator 2, unless you're going to do something. You love Gladiator 2, don't you?
I do. I'm like one of 12 people who really like that movie.
I didn't hate it. All right.
I'm good.
It would have been Wicked, R.I.P. had you done it. So we got to keep Wicked in one category. So thank you. I'm going to put in Beetlejuice for costumes.
Oh, nice.
I think costumes and makeup were phenomenal in that film, and I think it was actually on a lot of people's predictions that it might show up.
Yeah.
After hitting with some of those specific guilds and stuff, but it didn't. It would have been really cool to see a Tim Burton nomination there, but it missed. So I would put it in for Gladiator 2. So thank you for sparing me with the lifeline. The costume design nominees would now be Conclave, Nosferatu, Wicked, Furiosa, and Beetlejuice. It's a good group, man. These are some good looking nomination title cards here. That was you, right? So it's my turn?
Yep. That's right.
So let's see. What do we have left? We have production design, makeup, and cinematography, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will go next to production design. Let's do that.
All right. This is a tough one.
It is tough.
This is a tough one.
That's why I said let's get this out of the way here. Okay, so your nominees from the Academy, which is a great group, to be honest. The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. I was just singing Wicked's praises in the costume department. It is at least front runner, maybe top 2 for a lot of people in production design for the Oscar. I think it's highly regarded. Very elaborate, fantastical sets in that movie. The problem with the production design in Wicked, and I know actually you share my sentiment because it's been several months, but I remember watching your review and you had a similar thought that I had when I saw it, is that there's too much other stuff in the movie that takes away from the production design, in my opinion. And most notably, I'm talking about like the color, whatever the fuck that is.
Yep.
And it's just too loud, and you can't really focus on these really awesome, stuff in the Emerald City. And I mean, it's great production design, but I'm going to remove it just because the other 4 are like literally top tier. I mean, those are probably the top 4 production designs this year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take out Wicked. I also don't think there's a danger of you using a lifeline on Wicked. And I'm going to put in one of my favorite horror movies of the year that I think these practical sets were like, and as a fan of the franchise that started back with Ridley Scott in the 70s, I'm talking about Alien Romulus.
Yep. That's a good pick.
Dude, rebuilding these ships and like the old school computer monitors. I mean, everything was like the way it was in those original couple films. And man, I was just so, as a fan, I was just like, this is amazing. I mean, he built them all practically, and there's a lot of great VFX, and it did get nominated for VFX actually. And there's a lot of great VFX in the film too. There's also some questionable VFX, but nevertheless, all in all, it's pretty good in that respect too. But I think production design and the sound, which we already covered in this movie, are just above and beyond. So I'm going to put in Alien Romulus for Wicked, and I think that's really cool because then we get even more horror representation. Although the Academy did really good this year. Of course, that's mostly because of the substance. But you got Nosferatu in there. Romulus got sound? I think got the sound nomination, or was it VFX?
VFX.
So it's sprinkled a lot more than it normally is. But I would throw another horror nominee in there, and I would give Alien Romulus the production design nomination. Now you've got a tall order, brother.
Yeah, this one's impossible.
I mean, this is like, those are also fucking good, man.
Yeah.
I don't. As you're thinking about it, we can just have a quick combo. I don't know what's going to win this. I feel like I predicted The Brutalist, but I mean,
at the Oscars.
Yeah.
I think they might just do a combo, costume, production design, Wicked. Mm. That tends to happen a decent amount.
It does. They did that with Poor Things last year too, I think.
Yep. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. So, as stated, this is a really good category. Like an insanely good category.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not removing Nosferatu.
Thank God.
Can't do that. I'm not removing...
anyway.
Yeah. I'm not removing Dune.
Please don't.
So again, I have to remove one of The Brutalist or Conclave.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, my trade offer is I give you a Colosseum and I take away the church.
Lucky for you, I'm not religious, so you're good.
I would keep The Brutalist. I would go with Conclave.
You're taking out Conclave.
I would take out Conclave, even though it is very impressive, but I feel like
it
is like more recreation. So, and if since Gladiator 2 just got removed, I feel like I gotta stick it back in.
It's gotta be somewhere.
They built the Colosseum. Yeah. They built the Colosseum. What you want?
They did, man. That is really impressive. And I saw some of the behind the scenes stuff with that too, and I was just like, holy shit, man! Like,
yeah, the water. Let's go.
My God, dude, it's crazy. I had Furiosa in here as an alternate too. I love the production design in there with gas.
Also great.
And other stuff. Okay, so yeah, production design. That was a tough one. That may have actually been the toughest category. I feel like because those are all the nominees that the Academy did this year were great. But at the end of the day, after we made our tweaks, we're looking at production design nominees of The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, Alien Romulus, and Gladiator 2 for you, Fujii. So there you go. You got your Gladiator 2 back in the mix.
Yep, had to do it.
It's not going to be blanked on your watch.
That's right.
All right, so that was me. So I think we're down to cinematography and makeup, right?
Yep.
All right, what do you want to pick?
All right, let's just do makeup.
All right, so you're not another good group, actually. I mean, kind of. Another. Your nominees for makeup and hairstyling are A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. Dare I ask what you are going to remove here?
All right. I understand the nomination for Emilia Perez. I understand it at least. Having said that, yeah, I'm removing it, of course.
You don't understand it that much.
Yeah. At least I get it. At least I get why.
I'm assuming, the Benitez stuff in the beginning.
Yeah, that's it.
But sure. I mean,
it's not top 5 achievement of the year.
Nah, I don't think so.
No, but I understand why. But whatever. Right. Yeah, get out of here. And then let me just make sure I'm not leaving anything out. A lot of good stuff as always.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 horror movies in here.
Yep.
Glad that A Different Man is in. I have 2 alternates. I'll go Beetlejuice.
Good one. That was in my alternate list as well. So I like the trade out there, and I like Beetlejuice getting a second nomination from us.
Yeah.
God, I love that. The problem, though, is that you left me with a pretty tough call because, I mean, first of all, nobody in their right mind is going to remove The Substance, and well, not that I'm in my right mind, but I'm not going to do it either.
Yep.
So the substance stays put. That's probably your Oscar winner right there too.
Mm-hmm.
Nosferatu I can't remove because I mean that's my number one film of the year. You know what they did to Skarsgård as Count Orlok, and you know a lot of other stuff in that film too are great from a makeup and hairstyling perspective. So that's not going anywhere.
Yep.
A Different Man like blew me away when I found out after the fact that Sebastian Stan was wearing that like replica face or whatever, which I didn't even know that when I saw it initially. I don't know if I just missed some kind of memo about it, but I just thought it was Adam Pearson. I didn't know it was Stan acting through a mask or whatever. So that's super impressive. Guess what that leaves? Another category with no musicals. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I mean, I just
agree.
feel like right? I just feel like the achievement in those three films I was just talking about, even if I think Wicked has great makeup and hairstyling, it's not anywhere close to the transformation in those films.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, you could actually argue that Wicked might be worse than Emilia Perez in the makeup department.
You could. You actually could. I wouldn't do it, but you could.
I was going to say, I'm not going to make that argument, but I'm just saying if somebody made it, I'm not going to argue with them for hours about it, you know?
Yeah.
So let's take out Wicked. You already put in Beetlejuice. I had as my alternate, because I was going to do Beetlejuice, my alternate would be The Apprentice for makeup and hairstyling.
Like that.
I think, you know, I'm kind of surprised it didn't make it, honestly, or at least wasn't in the conversation, because the Academy loves those, like, you know, transformative makeup roles where it's, like, based on a real person, you know, their darkest hours and stuff like that, you know, so...
Right.
So Sebastian Stan killed it, and the makeup had a lot to do with it. And then the hairstyling, too, which a lot of people forget about in this category. But, I mean, you look at, was it Ivana Trump, I guess is what was that? Who Bakalova was playing? I think it was Ivana.
Yep.
But, like, the 80s hairstyle and the updos and, you know, all that stuff. And then, obviously, people make fun of Trump's hair or whatever, but I'm sure recreating that's probably not easy.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a weird thing, you know, so... So makeup and hairstyling, I'm going to put The Apprentice in there. So, you down with that?
Yeah, like that.
All right, brother. So for makeup and hairstyling, the nominees would be A Different Man, Nosferatu, The Substance, Beetlejuice, and The Apprentice. It's a good group, I think. I think that's a good group.
Better.
Man, we are sans musicals. Academy Awards. The 97th Fujii Awards are sans musicals. All right, so only one category left, right, which is cinematography, if I'm taking notes correctly, which I believe, if I remember, is a pretty tough category also.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
never mind. I mean, it's tough, but it's...
Yeah.
You know. Okay, so right now, the Academy's nominees for cinematography, and by the way, this is what my daughter is doing for a career, so I also know which one she... praise is the best among this group. I'll tell you in a second. So for cinematography, the nominees are The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria? Forgot that came out last year. And Nosferatu, Jaron Blasky. So, all right, I go first, right? It's me, right?
Yep.
So, again, I'm not going to take out Nosferatu.
No.
Honestly, that's my favorite of the category, and if I was an Oscar voter, that's what I'd be voting for, and that's even with Dune Part 2 being here. I mean, they're basically tied for me, but I just the Gothic recreation and expressionism and all that stuff that was captured in Nosferatu just floored me. And to be able to film, like, darkness and shadows so well, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy to do, you know, it was flawless. So I think Nosferatu is number one in this category. I'm not touching that. Obviously Dune Part 2 is right there too. I mean, as far as removal for me is between Emilia Perez and Maria. You were talking about how you can see the makeup nomination for Emilia Perez. I can kind of see the cinematography nomination for that movie. It does look really nice. It's just, unfortunately, you have to watch the narrative and hear it. But, you know, I mean, camera work is okay, I guess. But I tell you what, I don't think a lot of people will be angry with me for taking Emilia Perez out of this category based on what else is there right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Ed Lockman's cinematography, Maria's phenomenal too, honestly.
Yeah.
I wasn't big on the movie, but I mean, it's a really beautiful film from that in that regard. All right, so I'll take out Emilia Perez, and I will put in I mean, I'll just go ahead and do it. I'll put in the movie that, frankly, should be the runaway number one in this category, especially considering the Best Picture nomination, but it's Nickel Boys.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, what the fuck are we doing, man? Like,
it's crazy.
I would have even traded the adapted nomination for a cinematography nomination. I mean, it's it's just weird. I mean, it's just weird because I didn't connect with that film on like a 5 out of 5, 10-star level, but looking at it visually,
it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, for me, aside from maybe Nosferatu, it was the best.
And it's a character like in the movie too. Like
exactly,
that's the thing. So yeah, I agree.
Exactly. Yeah, it's weird, man. So I would put Nickel Boys in there. I'm surprised it's not there, being that it's a Best Picture nominee, but it's not. But Emilia Perez is. What are we doing? We've gone off the rails in this timeline. All right, so you got the last swap of this episode, man. So what are you going to take out? Emilia Perez is gone, so I'm interested to see.
I know it's gone. I mean, you did exactly the right thing. I would have done the exact same thing. I don't have to extend this too long. I would remove Maria, even though it is a gorgeous looking movie.
Okay,
it is
all right.
Just the fact that Dune, Nosferatu, and The Brutalist are, you can't remove those. Can't remove those. So Maria, sorry, you did good. You did good, but you got to go.
Bye. That was her solo nomination too, man. I can't believe you did that.
I'm so sorry. I feel bad.
Don't. It was my alternate also. If you're good.
I will ride for more horror. And this is actually one of my favorite horror movies of the year that I think is a bit underrated. I would go with The First Omen.
Yeah, that's good, man. That is
I think the cinematography in that movie is pretty great. Pretty incredible, striking images there.
Oh my god, so good.
So
I would be okay. I would be okay giving Nell Tiger Free a acting.
Oh, she's so good.
She really
is
amazing
in that movie.
I had I assume you had Nickel Boys as your alternate, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, my alternate that we didn't mention tonight, although I think we brought it up last time we did this, is I Saw the TV Glow.
I also had that written down.
Yeah, I think the cinematography and the visuals in that movie is astounding. I mean, just the colors and just the pop,
Yep.
Really memorable images that stick with you in that film. So the cinematography nominations, after me and Fujii get done with it, are The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, Nickel Boys, and The First Omen. Fujii, it's always a blast to get together with you. The Oscar swap project is going really well this year. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. Guys, if you're watching this, we are superior to what you've been seeing on the nomination slides since the Academy announced it. These are fucking banging what we've been coming up with. So, Fujii, thanks for helping me out with this, man. We're going to come back and do it one more time.
Yep.
And if my math is correct, there's 7 categories that we have not gotten to yet. So if you're watching this, make sure you subscribe so you can find that. Probably a week, 10 days from now or something like that. Me and Jonathan will get together again and we'll do the final categories remaining for our Oscar swap. And then maybe I'll do like a slide or a one sheet with everything, that we changed. And I think that'd be fun to have that kind of as a ballot too. And, see what it looks like,
cool.
See what it looks like. So I'm going to tag you in the video, Jonathan. I'm a big fan of yours, man. And I appreciate you coming on and joining me again. Anything you want to say to any of the musical lovers that may still be tuned in?
I love musicals. All right. I know you don't believe me. I love musicals. A whole bit on my channel is the movie Wonka. Please go watch that. The movie is amazing. I love musicals. Just last year just wasn't it for me. All right. I promise.
I love them too, man. I don't love them to 13 nomination near record breaking level though. I don't think I love them that much, but
yeah.
Emilia
23
Perez,
nominations between Emilia Perez and Wicked. 23. I'm just going to say that's a lot. All right, that's just me.
It makes my head hurt.
It's a lot.
Oh my god. Okay, now I'm going to end it like this, just like I did last time, Jonathan. Now, what is so funny? You and I were talking about this. I think before we started recording, but the last time we did this was the day, or like the day before, like right in a 24-hour period when all the Emilia Perez scandal stuff broke. Okay, we don't have to repeat any of it on this video, but it was a lot of shit that you're just reading it going, what? It's like every 2 hours was something fucking crazy,
Yep.
Obviously put a blemish on that film. At the time, before all that happened, you and I, who do Oscar predictions, said that Emilia Perez was the probable winner.
Yeah.
And this was I don't know, what was it? Maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe that we did that.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago.
How things have changed. I am not currently predicting it to win. I assume you're not, so I'm going to put you on the spot again. As we're sitting here right now on February 13th. By the way, happy Valentine's Day, buddy.
Oh, thank you so much. Back at you.
If you celebrate, I don't know. What's going to win Best Picture? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, how fast things can change.
Yeah.
I think everyone is very reactionary, which I understand. But with how it's gone, Globes, Critics' Choice, whatever. You look to the guilds. You look to what has industry overlap, and so far, the two big guilds have gone for Anora. You win DGA, that looks pretty good. You win PGA, that looks pretty good. You win both, that is tough to lose. Mm-hmm. So, I hate to be flip-floppy here, but it's hard to argue with Anora.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's number one for me too, and
we're saved.
It was so. Yeah, we thank God. Yes.
We're saved.
Not only that. I mean, it was in my top 5 of the year anyway. I mean, I love that movie.
Same.
I don't know, man. It was such a weird weekend, but I'm glad that it was for a movie like Anora. But I mean, I can remember myself and a bunch of people I talked to about awards like Anora's dead on Thursday. Everybody's like, Anora's dead. Like, it sucks. It's over. And then it was like literally a streak, like, fucking Steph Curry and 5 years ago for the Warriors. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm glad because I love Anora. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, like I said, and I agree with you. So we're matching up again. We both said Emilia Perez back on the 29th or whatever it was, and now we're both saying Anora. We'll see what happens. I made a video for the BAFTAs today, actually, and I said on that video, Jonathan, that I don't honestly think it matters what else happens.
I agree. I agree.
I think the DGA PGA combo. Now, of course, it's missed before. But it's rare. I mean, that's usually a symbol. Like, let's start engraving the Oscar here. I mean, it's some things could happen, some curveballs could be thrown, but
yeah,
I think at least from a predicting standpoint, there's no way you basically have to predict Anora based on what's been happening. So
yeah, I agree. BAFTAs really doesn't matter for Anora.
Nope.
It could blank and it wouldn't shake my confidence at all. I mean, Everything Everywhere won like one BAFTA award and then it won 7 Oscars. So
that's right.
It doesn't really matter.
That's right. Yeah. And then you look at a movie like recently, like All Quiet on the Western Front, like blew up at the BAFTAs, and then the Academy, it's like it didn't even exist. What I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I think it's Anora too. I agree with you, Jonathan Fujii, so that makes me feel good too because I tend to agree with you. As when we do the game, I always, you're always picking my picks and vice versa. So, we will be back soon, guys. Before the Oscars, Jonathan and I will finish out this project, and we will do Chapter 3 and replace some more nominees and fix whatever the hell the Academy did this year.
Yeah, that's right.
Jonathan, happy award season, man. It is a little happier this time. Remember last time you were. Yeah,
I was down in the dumps. I was in my feelings. Not gonna lie, but and here's what I'll say. Like, I know there are plenty of people who don't like Anora. Just remember, it could have been worse, right? So that's to comfort you there,
dude. It could have been a fucking lot worse.
It could have been a catastrophe.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm looking forward to getting back together with you before the Oscars. We'll do this again, Jonathan. Thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
All right. I'll see all you guys out here next time in the garage.